Power in love, a journey of understanding and reclaiming yourself. Love, in the minds of many, is a pure emotion, an unconditional connection, a place where two hearts beat in harmony without calculation. But in reality, love is never that simple. In every relationship, there exists an unspoken game of power, not to dominate, but to maintain balance, respect, and personal value. This journey will guide you through 7 parts. From understanding what power in love is to reclaiming your strength by knowing when to let go. Part 1, what is power in love? When we hear power in the context of love, many think of control, manipulation, or dominance. But power in love is far more subtle. It's not in words but in unspoken behaviors. It's not "I command you to do this," but "I can make you act based on my emotions without saying a word." Power in love is the ability to influence, to affect someone's emotions, behaviors, and decisions. The person with power isn't always the one who loves more, but the one who controls their own emotions. They love with clarity, not panic, and without dependence. Power comes in 2 main forms: active power, strength from action. This person knows what they want, sets clear boundaries, and isn't afraid to walk away if the relationship no longer serves them. They don't send 10 texts for one reply or obsessively check their phone. They're respected, even desired, for this self-mastery. Passive power, strength from energy and presence. This person is magnetic without trying. They have a vibrant, independent life and don't chase anyone. Yet others are drawn to pursue them. When you see them online and feel compelled to text first, that's passive power. How do you know who holds more power? Observe the small behaviors: who initiates more, who adjusts their plans for the other, who's more swayed by the other's emotions. If you're always sacrificing, waiting, or feeling you need them more than they need you, you're likely in a weaker position. But don't rush to blame. This imbalance doesn't mean you're losing or weak. It shows you're investing more emotionally, natural in love. However, over time, this imbalance can hurt you and may cause your partner to lose respect for you. A simple example: you text them 3 times. No reply. But when they respond, you reply in seconds. This small act shows you're placing them on a pedestal, unconsciously. That's when unspoken power begins to form. Conclusion: power in love isn't a bad game. It reflects your self-worth and emotional control. If you don't learn to manage your emotions, set boundaries, and hold your value, you'll always be led. Love shouldn't be a battle for power. But if you're unaware of it, you'll always be the one quietly losing. Part 2, the illusion of equality in love. Modern society teaches us that love should be fair: both partners share equally, invest equally, and love with equal heart and reason. Sounds ideal, right? But in reality, love never works that way. Believing in absolute equality is one of the most dangerous illusions in our emotional lives. The truth: love is never completely equal. In every relationship, there's always an emotional imbalance. One person loves more, one invests more, one is more vulnerable, and one controls the situation better. If you've ever loved deeply, waited anxiously for a text, or worried when their attitude shifted, you know this truth in every fiber of your being. The one who loves more is often weaker. Reflect on past relationships. Were you the one always initiating dates, texting first, or giving in after arguments? If so, and they didn't reciprocate equally, you were likely in a weaker position in the emotional power dynamic. You invested more, so you feared losing more. Fearing loss made you easier to influence. But don't misunderstand, loving sincerely isn't wrong. But sincerity needs clarity. True love is about sharing wisely, not giving everything. The illusion that giving more means receiving more is dangerous. In reality, those who give more are often seen as always available. Those who sacrifice more are perceived as less valuable. Value in love isn't measured by sacrifice but by how much you maintain yourself. Power comes from emotional control, not words or looks. The person with more power is less affected by the other. You can love, but don't let longing control you. You can care, but don't let their indifference unsettle you. When you adopt the mindset of it's nice to have you, but I'm fine without you, you start reclaiming power. Ask yourself, in this relationship, am I reacting or leading? Who waits for whom? Who can walk away if things go wrong? If you're always anxious when they're silent or guessing their mood, you've lost the presumed equality. Conclusion: loving deeply isn't wrong, but believing love is always fair is a grave mistake. The winner in love isn't the one who captures another's heart but the one who holds their own value. When you stop believing everything is equal, you'll see the real game, and play it with greater clarity. Part 3, Signs of an Imbalanced Power Dynamic. We rarely notice when power in love begins to tilt. No one says, I'm controlling this relationship. But the feeling is everywhere, in the anxiety of waiting for a text, the unease when they grow cold, the small actions you take to avoid being left. Unspoken power operates silently, without words, but stronger than any overt control. Signs you're in a weaker position: always initiating, you text first, suggest dates, check in, show care, while they just respond. Initiating isn't wrong, but if you're always starting and their enthusiasm doesn't match, you're giving more than receiving. Adjusting your schedule for them: you rearrange plans when they're busy. Say it's fine when they change things, but they don't do the same for you. The person with more power changes themselves less for the relationship. Worrying about their thoughts: you analyze their messages for hidden meanings, craft responses to avoid boring them, and choose words carefully to keep their interest. The relationship becomes a test you're trying to pass, not a natural connection. Fearing upsetting them more than seeking your happiness, you ask, am I doing something wrong? Instead of am I happy? You live reactively, waiting for their mood to shift. Your emotions are swayed by them, their coldness devastates you, their silence distracts you, their smile lifts you, but your sadness? They brush it off. When your emotions depend on their actions, power rests in their hands. Why is this dangerous? The more easily influenced you are, the more vulnerable you become. When they sense this, consciously or not, they lose the initial respect they had for you. They don't need to try, because you're doing everything. Paradoxically, the more you give without reciprocation, the less you're loved, you're taken less seriously. Check yourself: if they left today, would you be okay? Are you trying to be who they want or being yourself? Do you initiate out of desire or fear of loss? If the thought of them leaving fills you with dread, you're building a relationship on fear, not true connection. Conclusion: power imbalances start small: an unanswered text, a cancelled plan, an evening waiting for a reply that never comes. True love is when both willingly invest, not when one carries the relationship silently. You shouldn't fight for attention. In real love, you don't need to try so hard to stay. Part 4, when do you lose power? No one enters love aiming to become weaker or undervalued. But through small actions, an unanswered text you still send, a concession, a sacrifice unnoticed, power slips away. The scariest part? You don't realize it until it's too late. When do you lose power? When you fear losing them more than being loved properly, when fear drives you. You forgive disrespect, lower standards, and keep them despite your pain. You stop asking, are they right for me? And focus on, how do I keep them? When you change yourself to keep them, you hide your feelings to avoid bothering them. Suppress discomfort. Smile when you're unhappy, just to be nice enough in their eyes. But when you're no longer yourself, you lose your initial lure. When you initiate everything, you plan dates, text every morning, apologize when it's not your fault, say goodnight without reply, love becomes a monologue, and what's too available is taken for granted. When your emotions are controlled by them, their distance saddens you, their absence distracts you, their brief reply consumes your thoughts. You're no longer living by your emotions, you're reacting to them 24/7. Why don't you notice? Love blinds you. You think, if I try harder, they'll love me like before. But love isn't enduring, staying silent, or trading yourself away. A confident, admired man fell deeply in love, becoming anxious and desperate to regain her attention. After 3 months, she lost interest, not because he was unworthy, but because he dimmed the presence that first drew her to him. Conclusion: you lose power when you lose yourself in loving someone. They may not do anything wrong, but you still feel unrespected. Ask yourself, am I holding my principles? Am I loving them or just avoiding abandonment? Love isn't a place to trade self-respect. If you must become someone else to be loved, that love isn't for you. Part 5, How to Reclaim Power. Realizing you've lost power doesn't mean you're weak or unworthy. It means you've placed someone else at the center, forgetting your own value. The good news? You can reclaim power, not through manipulation or fake indifference, but by mastering yourself. How to reclaim power: re-establish boundaries, define what you accept and what you don't. Don't agree just to keep them happy. Be willing to step back from anything that makes you lose yourself. Slow your responses, don't reply instantly or always be available. Respond when you're free, giving them space to miss you. Scarcity creates value, rushing creates accessibility. Build a vibrant personal life, have goals, passions, friends, and activities. When they see you thriving without them, you regain your position. Recharge your energy, exercise, eat well, meditate, learn new skills. A vibrant person radiates natural allure. Reframe love, shift from I need them to be happy to I want to share my happiness with someone worthy. The person with power doesn't see love as a lifeline or the other as their only prize. A real story: a man once fell into emotional dependence. Always texting first, anxious when ignored. He paused contact, hit the gym, advanced his career, and stayed silent when disrespected. 3 months later, he was more attractive than ever. When she saw he was no longer dependent, her attitude shifted, because he returned to his true value. Conclusion: you don't need to play games or act cold. Return to yourself, trust your worth, and let others stay because of your genuine allure. When you love without losing yourself, you don't just reclaim power, you reclaim the presence that makes you unforgettable. Part 6, The Gender Game, Men versus Women in Emotional Power. Not everyone plays love the same way, and much of the difference comes from gender, not just biology, but psychology and societal roles. Understanding how men and women wield power helps you see if you're leading or being led. Know when to approach or pull back, and avoid emotional manipulation. Men, strategy of initiation. Pursuit, assertion. Men often show power through initiation, texting first, asking for dates, planning, direction, guiding the relationship's path. Concrete actions, giving gifts, solving problems, showing responsibility. But by doing too much too soon, they risk being seen as always available and lose allure. An attractive man shows serious intent but keeps enough distance to spark curiosity. Women, strategy of passivity, testing, ambiguity. Women often use soft power, mystery, emotional finesse, being half open, half closed. Delay tactics, slow responses, testing patience with silence. Vague signals, I'm not sure, you're nice. But this leaves men chasing blindly, thinking more effort will win her. Women hold power by creating uncertainty, the strongest emotional trigger. When strategies collide, one initiates, the other passively controls. If men aren't discerning, they chase harder and lose value. If women overuse tests, they risk seeming unapproachable, losing sincerity. The issue isn't gender but how each uses their role for emotional advantage. Solution: men, lead with calm confidence, not overdoing it to impress. Self-control, goals, and timely withdrawal define true masculinity. Women, set challenges without confusion, Allow space for initiation. And give clear signals when needed. Softness with consistency maintains allure and respect. Example, a woman attracted many because she knew her value. Instead of power games, she showed selective warmth, opening up or holding back at the right times. She didn't chase, yet was respected. Conclusion: love involves power, but not for domination, to avoid deep emotional imbalances. Understanding gender is knowing the game. Understanding yourself is how you win. Part 7, The Power of Letting Go. In love, everyone fears loss. We cling, even when the relationship is wrong, imbalanced, or has cost us ourselves. But the greatest power lies not in holding on, but in letting go at the right time. Letting go declares, I'm valuable enough not to cling to what doesn't deserve me. Those who let go aren't afraid of loss, can't be manipulated, and hold emotional power. Walking away without begging says, I love, but I'm not dependent. I give, but not my dignity. I choose you, but don't need you to exist. What happens if you don't let go? You lower standards. Give without receiving. Hope they'll change while you burn out. You live in fear of abandonment, making you easy to manipulate and undervalue. They don't need to try, they know you won't leave. Letting go sparks respect. Many who were ignored found that walking away decisively made the other return. Why? Decisiveness creates value. You become worth pursuing, not needing love, whether they return or not. You've won, by winning yourself back. How to let go. Define your core values. Do you deserve indifference? Want fear-based love? If not, act like someone who knows their worth. Ask, if I stay, who will I become? Someone who endures, loses self-respect? Losing yourself is worse than losing someone who doesn't love you. Create space to heal. Stop contact. Focus on yourself, body, work, passions. No one is irreplaceable, but you shouldn't lose yourself. A story, she loved fiercely, texting first, waiting despite his coldness. One day, she realized she wasn't happy. She left with one message, thank you for everything, but I choose peace. 3 months later, she was strong, radiant, needing no validation. He returned, but the story isn't about winning him back, it's about winning herself. Conclusion: letting go isn't abandoning love. It's protecting your self-respect, presence, and emotional freedom. You don't need to act tough, just choose yourself over fear. When you're strong enough to walk away, you don't just reclaim power, you reclaim the person you lost to love. Dear friends, the journey we've just taken through the dynamics of power in love isn't just a set of lessons, it's a reminder that you deserve a love that respects you, brings peace, and lets you shine as your best self. Love isn't a place to lose yourself, it's where you should glow. Take action today. Pause and reflect. In your current relationship, are you leading or being led? Are you holding on to your value, or trying not to be left behind? Write down your thoughts and face the truth. Set a small boundary. The next time you're tempted to text first or sacrifice your time, pause. Choose yourself first. Notice how that shifts your perspective. Focus on you. Spend 1 week doing something just for yourself. Hit the gym. Learn a new skill. Reconnect with old friends. Make your life vibrant, with or without someone by your side. Share your story, if this resonated with you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever lost power in love? How did you reclaim it? Your story could inspire someone else. Don't wait for someone to give you value. You define your own worth. Hit the like button if you found this video meaningful. Subscribe and turn on notifications to catch our next content. Most importantly, share this video with a friend, they might need this reminder to rediscover themselves in love. Together, let's not just love, but love the right way, with self-respect and freedom.